Alrighty, so up next we have Burnstar with Chabo, and it looks like we're ready to go, so I'll take it on over to you guys.
Okay, I'm Chabo, and I'll be running Burnstar. It's a puzzle action game made by Nerve Software. So first off, I'm running the bonus world any percent category, but I'll show a couple of the levels from the main game just to introduce some of the mechanics. So no. So this is just a tutorial before I start the actual run. So yeah, I'm placing bombs here, and I want to collect the stars. I need to get 70% for most levels, and I need to do that by detonating bombs in certain locations so that I can burn the goo and the obstacles that are in the way. After I finish a level, if anything's still burning, then that costs time from RTA, even though you can see the in-game timer was still running. So I'll use one of the other characters for this one. So this is Ember. Her special ability is to have this shield which protects her from damage, and that also pulls stars in from the area if she's nearby. So there's a hierarchy of what can ignite what. Bombs and missiles can ignite anything in this game. Whereas, so red boxes have an explosion that goes 2 tiles, orange boxes have an explosion that go 1 tile, and then yellow boxes don't explode, but they do set fire to goo. Alright, I have 70%, so now I can move on and grab the star at the end. Alright, so now I'm going to start the bonus world, and I'm going to reset my progress before I do that. So my run is starting in 3, 2, 1, now. Selected the wrong character. Alright, so one mechanic that's going to come up a lot more in these bonus levels is the star bot. If I place the bomb there, then when it goes off, this bot starts running around, dropping stars every once in a while. And its movement is random, and it's actually the only element of RNG in this entire run. So there are some levels that I died. Oh well. There are some levels that the starbot pattern can make things more complicated. It can slow you down if you get a bad pattern. Very few of the levels actually require the starbot, though. It just makes it faster. Another element of the starbot is that if you're staying closer, then it drops stars at an increased rate. So if the starbot pattern happens to be where you're moving anyway, then you can get a good amount of stars very quickly. So this level, we normally... The game tells you that Amber is the best character to use, but I prefer Cold Snap, who has the ability of shooting out these ice balls that can freeze objects, so that you can walk through the saw blades and things like that. This level also introduces these lasers. Freeze this saw blade as well. Drop the barrel here, and for some reason this starbot doesn't move, so I can just stand on top of it and it'll spawn stars very quickly. And then move on to the next level, and this one uses Cold Snap as well. So despite the fact that we skipped using Ember in the last level, Ember actually gets the most use out of any character in this run, so there will be plenty of opportunity to see her ability. This level introduces these crushers, which come towards you if you get in their path. Unfortunately, the Starbot didn't have a pattern that allowed me to move with it at all. So that's going to cause a delay because I do have 70%. Never mind. All right, so this one, I'm using Burnstar's speed dash. And this is actually the only level in this run that that there's an inherent time limit, because you can see those rockets on the left side that are blowing up the blocks. You need to shoot those blocks with your own missiles in order to burn enough goo to get you stars to complete the level. So if you wait too long, then the fireball launchers will destroy all of the blocks before you can use them, and then you will have to just reset the level. And because I got 100% on that level, it opened up this secret level, which I can use. Saves time from not having to do those 2 levels that are on the main path. So this is the first level that we're using Ember, and you know, we'll have a bunch of levels in a row that use her ability. Go with the start. Ah.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty, so we have a $11.60 donation from Minor Fanatic 1. Do you not want to see Arctrox hit in the face with a flute?
Alright, so we're going to take a ride around the conveyor in a minute and pick up a bunch of stars on the way. Whoops. No, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. Alright, if we have another donation, you can do that.
Unfortunately, we do not have another donation. However, I do want to say that even if you guys can't donate to this wonderful cause, you are more than welcome to share Calithon and share it on social media so more people will know about the stream.
Alright, and the Starbot moved with us again. So, got to collect a bunch right there. Yeah, so that's what I meant to do last time. So, we can just ride around the conveyor collecting all the stars. Could call it a Starlight Express if you want. Shout out to Andrew Lloyd Webber. So we use these pressure switches in order to move these pipes so that we can redirect those fireballs. Have specific patterns that we can burn what we need to with those. Wait for the fire to die down. Shoot a rocket there. Use Ember's shield ability to block that fireball, which was holding up that pillar. Shoot this, and then use the shield to protect us from the fire that's just everywhere around us. One thing about the ignition system that I forgot to mention is that if any object, any flammable object, is surrounded on 3 sides by fire, it will ignite. So even though you generally need an explosion to ignite a red block, you can ignite one just by surrounding it by fire. And you can see that the letters spell out Ember. This one is the first level in this category that uses these ghost blocks, which chase you around if you're in line of sight. Took me a while to be able to do any level with these. They were the bane of my runs for quite a while because they look like just like the normal concrete blocks that are all around the level. This is another one that we need to get 100% because we're unlocking a secret level with it. This one is just littered with saw blades. I don't know who put all these here, but it's just so many of them to try to dodge. This one is difficult unless you learn the patterns. Do we have anything else to read out?
Unfortunately, we do not, but I will like to take this moment to say that something about direct relief. Even when there isn't an active disaster, direct relief helps areas prepare that may be a risk for hurricanes, earthquakes, and other emergencies as well. I also would like to say that this looks like somebody liked to do a Mario Maker level out of it.
Yep, and I have 100% now on stars. All right. This is a really tough level. It took me a long time to learn a fast pattern for this one. So many crushers that are just trying to kill you all the time. I will say, at this game, I found it very fun on 2 levels. So first, just playing it as a puzzle game, and then second as a speed game. So going through and just figuring out how to get 100% on each level. I might spend 5 minutes on a level and it's a terrible time, but then I'd grind through it, and this game is actually what got me into speedruns, because I started watching Squibbins, who is mainly a runner of the 2D Zelda series and the Ultima series, and then she is the lead designer for this game. So then I bought it, started playing it, and got really into it, and eventually I was able to 100% the game and start doing full game runs. Currently on the leaderboard, Squibbins and I are the only 2 runners for either category. For the main game, I haven't ground that one down much, so I have a terrible time. And Squibbins holds the record by many minutes. And then in this category, I hold the record with 10 minutes and 5 seconds, which I just got on Thursday night when I was practicing for this marathon. Alright, Starbot can make this level a lot faster, but I didn't like the pattern that much, so I'm just going to move on. So this one, we're using the ice crystal there in order to manipulate the movement of this ghost block so that we can get to hold down switches. Pick up a rocket there. And then we're also using the ice crystal. I don't need to show it this many times, just something I do while I'm waiting. But to keep that fireball launcher inactive until I get through there. And we place a bomb here so that we can get through. Have to wait for that goo up there to burn. And then, alright, 70%. And now we're using Tatsu, who has the ability to drop a clone of himself on the ground. That can be useful. For instance, you can shoot it in order to stop one of those sliding blocks from moving. Or sacrifice it to that crusher. And this is the only level that the Starbot pattern is required in order to finish it with this strategy. So if I don't stick to it close enough and get it to drop a number of stars, then I'll need to reset the level. But we're good. 75%. Alright, and now the final level, which gives me trouble. So out of a number of attempts in this category, I think around 500, I've had exactly 6 deathless runs. And most of those deaths came from this boss level. Ooh, managed to sneak through there. Alright, still good. I'll need to take a couple of laps around this level, though, in order to manipulate these enemies. Time. Alright, did actually manage to get that boss level deathless, which I'm very happy about, and that's a slow time for this level, but sometimes that will add 4 or 5 minutes to my time for this run. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and your runtime was 13:19.3.
Okay. I'm fairly happy with that. I was hoping for under 15 minutes. I've gone up to 20 in my no reset runs. That's where my estimate came from. So if you're interested in this game, it's currently on Steam right now for $5. And then sometime this year, they are working on a port for the Nintendo Switch, which will be more than just a straight port. It's going to have updated lighting and effects and sound, and it will also have additional levels. So if you're interested in playing the game, on either way, it's a really fun game. I recommend you try it out. Thank you.
Alrighty, so up next we have Ratchet and Clank Going Commando by